Hi guys, today I'm reviewing the Ninja Creami. You can make ice cream, gelato, sorbet, smoothie bowls, and milkshakes. The unit measures almost 16 inches in height, 12 inches wide, and 6.5 inches deep. The cord length is 31.4 inches. It's 800 watts and weighs 13 pounds. It's available in a couple of colors: black, blue, red, rose gold, silver, and white. There's a quick start guide, recipe book with 30 recipes, including basic vanilla ice cream, milkshakes, fruit sorbet, light ice cream using non-dairy ingredients like coconut cream and oat milk, chocolate ice cream, and gelatos. The recipes are very detailed and thorough. They list tools needed for the recipe, substitutions, and tips. There's also important safety instructions, 35 things not to do with this unit. When you think of Ninja, you think of blenders, but this is not a blender. You can't put hard things in here, you can't put ice in here and crush it. Also, no dry ingredients and no hot liquids. There are 7 programs: ice cream, sorbet, smoothie bowl, light ice cream, gelato, milkshake, and mix-in. Power button and respin. You'll get 3 pint containers with lids. They hold 2 cups or 16 ounces. The containers and lids are BPA free. This is the outer bowl and its lid. Move the latch all the way to the right. And put the paddle in. Move the latch when you want to take the paddle off. First, I'll make vanilla ice cream. Whole milk, heavy cream, sugar, pinch of salt. I'm going to heat this mixture up just to melt the sugar so it won't be grainy. The sugar is melted. This mixture is lukewarm, so we can pour it right into the containers. Now, if you're using a recipe where the liquids have to boil, make sure you cool the mixture down before pouring it into the containers. The containers are microwavable, but I generally don't like to put plastic in the microwave. I'll add some vanilla extract. Of course, you can scrape the seeds off a vanilla bean and add that. This gives you about 3 1/4 cups of the ice cream base. Put the lids on and freeze them for 24 hours. In the third container, I'll make a pineapple sorbet. The recipe book says to use about 3 cups of chopped pineapple. You can use just one fruit or a combination, like oranges and pineapples. Whatever fruit you use, make sure to cut into 1/2-inch pieces or smaller. I just cut a fresh pineapple yesterday and it was very sweet, so it'll be good for this recipe. Use very ripe fruit for the best results. Luckily, I have exactly 3 cups of pineapple. Whatever fruit you use, make sure to press it down really well. I'll put a little bit in. Just press it down. And the 3 cups just fit. You can use a potato masher or a heavy spoon just to push everything down. That looks good. It's just to the max line. Put the lid on and we'll freeze this for 24 hours as well. After 24 hours, I'll process the vanilla ice cream base. Take the lid off and put the pint in the outer container. The mixture is frozen solid. Put the cover on to the right of center and turn to the center to close. Put the container on the unit with the handle in the center and then slide to the right. It'll go up and you'll hear that click. Plug the unit in first. Before I turn it on, take off your headphones because it'll be really loud and I have not turned down the volume. Just press ice cream. Here's the progress bar. That took 1 minute and 40 seconds. The unit is loud, just like a blender. Press this gray button down and we can release the bowl. I am turning down the volume for the rest of the video. Press this button on the side And the lid comes off. I don't think the paddle's supposed to be in here. Take this off. It does look really creamy though. Looks really creamy and smooth. You can see that. I'll taste a little bit of it. The texture is amazing. It's really creamy. It tastes just as good as ice cream from other standard ice cream makers. It is icy cold, colder than ice cream from other standard ice cream makers. I'll put the recipe link below this video. Follow this recipe and make one of the best ice creams you've ever had. It's just pure creamy vanilla with 4 ingredients. If you want to put the rest away in the freezer, just smooth out the top so it's even. When you pull it out of the freezer, if it's really hard, you can leave it out on your counter for a few minutes or put it back in the outer bowl and use the ice cream function again. If you want to add in some nuts or chocolate, make some space in the middle. This is pretty full, but all the way down in the middle like that. And I'll drop in some chocolate chips. I'm going to put the paddle back in. Choose mix in. The mix-in program took 1 minute. If you want to stop a program at any time, just press the power button. That looks really good. You can see the chocolate chips are mixed in. You're supposed to use mini chocolate chips, but I use regular chocolate chips. That's just all I had. But it's done a good job. And it is nicely mixed in. You can see the chocolate chips throughout. The paddle stayed in place. The first time, I don't know what happened, but the rest of the times I used the unit, there was no issue with the paddle. Next, I'll do the second container with a little over a half of the ice cream base. I'm going to use the ice cream function first and then make this into a milkshake. If you want to get this Ninja Creami, I'll put a link in the description section below. Here you can clearly see how the paddle is shaving off each layer. That took 1 minute and 30 seconds. Again, it's nice and creamy. I'm going to make some space in the middle and pour in milk, about half a cup. Choose milkshake. That was 1 minute and 30 seconds. It's a little bit looser. This is just like the milkshake you get at your local ice cream shop. And it tastes absolutely amazing. The pineapple looks like a frozen yellow block of ice. By the way, if you forget to put the paddle on the lid, the install light will flash and the unit won't run the program. Just for comparison's sake, a Vitamix will be about as loud as a Ninja blender. But Ninjas in general sound harsh, like a high-pitched whine. That took 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It was extremely loud, ear-piercingly loud, louder than the ice cream setting. It's really crumbly, you can see that here. For crumbly mixtures like this, use the respin program. I'll run this again using respin. It really sounds like a jet engine taking off. That looks much better. It looks smooth. It is really smooth and creamy. Even though it's just the pineapple and the juice of the fresh pineapple, it tastes like pineapple ice cream. It really is that creamy. Of course, it helps if you start with a very sweet pineapple like I did. This is just the absolute perfect summer dessert. There's no fat, but it tastes creamy. So the pineapple on the side of the container is icy and you can still see the pineapple pieces. You can actually just see it through the container. It's just like a frozen layer of pineapple. If you want, you can mix this up, put it back in here, and run another cycle. I'm not going to do that. I just don't have the patience for it. It's very thin and almost melts in your mouth. The processed part is amazingly creamy. So it's pretty much a frozen solid chunk of pineapple that you're processing in this machine. And it did do a really great job of making it very creamy. This is the vanilla ice cream I made yesterday with chocolate chips. It is actually a really nice creamy consistency. I thought that it would be too hard and that I would have to run the ice cream cycle again before serving it, but you can see it's pretty perfect. Just gonna taste it to see if it is still creamy or if it's gotten any iciness. There are no ice crystals, it's still smooth and creamy. In this recipe, I used heavy cream and whole milk, so there is a lot of fat in here, and that helps keep the ice cream creamy. If you make a light ice cream with less fat, you might have to use the ice cream program again. If you don't want to run another cycle, you can just leave the container out for a few minutes and it will get soft. I'm trying to lose a few pounds and this review is not helping. This ice cream is better than anything you can buy at the store. It's creamy, it's just absolutely perfect vanilla ice cream. If you use fresh vanilla beans, the ice cream will just be at another level. It'll be spectacular. The beans were always expensive, but now it's even more expensive, so I decided just to use the vanilla extract, which also has gone up in price, but you definitely need vanilla extract to make vanilla ice cream. So even with just the vanilla extract, you get an amazing vanilla ice cream. If you've never had homemade ice cream, you definitely have to try this. Now I'll make a coconut mango smoothie bowl. Frozen mango chunks to the Maxwell line, coconut milk. This is the cream on top. Make sure to mix it into the liquid below. Pour the coconut milk to just below the max line. Stir it up a little. Choose smoothie bowl. That took 2.5 minutes. Because I overfilled the container just a little bit, there were a few drips while the cycle was running. So make sure to fill just below the max line when using liquids and mixing with fruit. You're not going to have that problem with the ice cream function or the sorbet function because everything will be frozen solid. It's smooth, but you can see some of the coconut fat has not mixed in well. I'll taste it. You can still feel some tiny bits of mango. It's not completely smooth. If you want it perfectly smooth, process it again. I'm gonna eat it just like this, with some blueberries, coconut, and nuts. This is perfect for those who are lactose intolerant like me. I have been eating the vanilla ice cream, which I shouldn't be, but it's just too good. You can cover this, put it in the freezer, and have it later. That's what I'm doing because I have been eating everything I've made so far. My freezer's getting pretty full. Next is chocolate ice cream, but with non-dairy milk. This is the dairy-free coconut vanilla ice cream recipe from the included recipe book. Instead of coconut milk, I'm using oat milk. Creamy, full fat. It says extra creamy on it. You could use soy milk, and there are recipes in the booklet using creamers. This is a soy creamer that I use for coffee, and it should make good ice cream. Pour the oat milk into a measuring cup, sugar, or you can substitute honey, vanilla extract, cocoa powder to make it chocolate ice cream. Heat this for a minute or so just to melt the sugar and whisk it well. Pour it into the pint container. Cover and put it in the freezer for 24 hours. I'm going to have to eat the smoothie bowl now because there's no room in my freezer. After 24 hours, Here is the chocolate base. I'll run the ice cream program. That took 2 minutes. Looks very smooth. Just gonna check the sides. Just a little bit of iciness on the sides. You see the thin layer against the container is a little bit icy. You want to make that also smooth. Just mix this up and run again. It tastes like chocolate ice cream, but a lighter version. It is really good. And even the thin icy part is not crunchy or hard. It does melt in your mouth. So you really don't have to process this again. I have bought non-dairy ice creams from the store and they have tons of sugar in them. So when you make your own, you can control the amount of sugar. And we just added a few ingredients, nothing extra. That's of course not one serving, but it looks really good. Cleaning is pretty easy. You wash the pints, paddle, container, and lids by hand or on the top rack of your dishwasher. The rubber seal under the lid is removable. Just don't forget to put it back after drying all the parts. Wipe the base down with a damp cloth, as well as the spindle under the head. If you spill something, turn the platform counterclockwise to go up and wipe it down. So you saw how this ninja did on the sorbet, the ice cream, mix-in, milkshake, smoothie bowl, and non-dairy ice cream. If you want to get this Ninja Creami, I'll put a link in the description section below. As always, I hope you found this review helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more reviews. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.